I do love to laugh, sometimes maniacally, but that's another story for another day. We've previously looked at the top 10 funniest Transformers characters, but then that led us to today's list. It is going to be the top 10 funniest Transformers moments / scenes in the latest GotBot Counts Down. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble host, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course subscribe, and while you're at it, light them up, baby. And hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton. It lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, Transformers Collectors NL, The Autobot Family, Transformers vs. G.I. Joe vs. DC Universe vs. Marvel, and have a look for all of my social media links. They're all in the description below if you're in a position to help the channel to grow. You can check us out on Patreon, see what we offer to you through Teespring, or, of course, you can hit the join button right here on YouTube and become a channel member. And this is, of course, going to be the countdown of the top 10 funniest moments, scenes, as voted on by you guys. And there were a lot. We're going to jump right into the honorable mentions first. Spike swearing, cursing, whatever word you want to use for during the 86 movie is the first honorable mention. I don't know, bad words are funny, I suppose. I like this one, Inferno from Beast Wars, when he says, you know, fool, pain is my friend, let me show you, and he basically picks up Quick Strike and flails him around. Kind of a funny interaction between the two of those. Anytime Waspinator was destroyed and had to kind of pull himself back together and go back to the chamber to kind of get himself all repaired again, all of those were funny. Poor Waspinator. Obviously that was an ongoing joke. Let's see. The scene where basically Megatron is led into a trap by Starscream, and Starscream says, you know, the triple changers led me to believe that this was something or other, and they climb out of it, and Megatron says, either you're lying or you're stupid, and he has his fusion cannon pointed at Starscream while he's standing on his hand, and Starscream basically says with desperation, I'm stupid, I'm stupid. That came in at an honorable mention. And the last of the honorable mentions is the Cyberverse episode where Bumblebee basically, I think he loses his memory and he basically acts like a little kid, kind of like a toddler. So that is the 5 honorable mentions. I think all 5 are pretty funny in their own right if you know the series and you know the scenes, but none of them made the list. None of them had enough votes to actually get on the top 10, but who did? Well, we're about to find that out with number 10 first. And number 10, unexpectedly, comes from Megatron himself. Actually, it comes from kind of his G2 look in the, I think the Marvel comics, when he is asked by Optimus Prime, when they're kind of in a battle situation together, why have you kept Starscream alive? And he says, that's what everybody asked me. I'm going to actually kind of read the line here now because I have it. That's what they all asked me. Why him? Why Starscream? Why, of all Decepticons, did I decide to revitalize the one whose record of deceit and betrayal is legend? Because I'm stupid. It's as simple as that, but it's one of those things like you expect some sort of an epic answer and you get the simplest one, but yet the one that makes the most sense. It's one of those situations where it's funny because it's true, and for that reason he takes the number 10 slot. Number 9 takes us to Transformers Prime, and I don't actually have a representation of this because it's kind of a human character, sorta. It is Miko when she uses the Apex armor and kind of lays the beat down. I can't remember on everyone, but I know she lays the beat down on Starscream, and he so deserved it. Not only was it his comeuppance, but she was loving it because she had a chance to be the big bruiser herself, and we all know how spunky she was, whether you liked her or whether you didn't. I think most people liked when Starscream kind of got his. And if she wasn't considered a wrecker before for her bravery, she certainly was by then. And because of Starscream's reaction to her kind of beating him up, and because Starscream got beat up by a girl, as the old saying goes, it was enough to garner enough votes to take the number 9 slot. Now, number 8 is quite high class with the Dinobots, of course, and it comes to us from the 86 movie. And it's the classic conversation of Cesium Salami or Berylllium Balogna. It's when the Dinobots are looking for Cup and Hot Rod, and I'm pretty sure it's Slag, and it's definitely Grimlock, who have a disagreement and start calling each other names. Cesium Salami, Berylllium Balogna, we all know it. And just the fact that they're calling each other basically luncheon meats is kind of funny in and of itself. I think most fans know that, and I think most people kind of chuckled at the two of them getting across each other and having that kind of a juvenile argument. And for that reason, the Dinobots take the number 8 slot. Now, number 7 actually sticks with Grimlock, and it is his scene, Dinobot scene really, toward the end of the movie when they are battling Unicron, and Grimlock says, "Me, Grimlock, kick butt." And he basically goes in behind Unicron and kicks him in the butt, as do the other Dinobots. But all Unicron really does is reaches behind and kind of goes to swat at them or slap them. They fly out, and that's when Grimlock kind of regroups and says, "Me, Grimlock, think me need new strategy." And I thought that was hilarious because, you know, the Dinobot's big move was to kick him in the butt. That being said, I would like everybody to take notice of that scene. I've talked about it before, and I'm going to say it right now. If you want to know what the back of Unicron is supposed to look like, because we don't really see him too much, and there's been a lot of debate with the HasLab Big Boy and with the O1 Studio Cell version. What's the back of Unicron supposed to look like? Find that scene. Find the Grimlock kicking butt scene, and you'll see what the back of him looks like. Promise you it doesn't look like the HasLab one. Either way, you cut it though. Grimlock doing that at the end of the movie with the biggest threat that the Transformers has ever known is definitely funny. For that reason, he takes the number 7 slot. And for number 6, yes, we're sticking with Grimlock yet again, and again from the movie. After finding Cup and Hot Rod, the Quintessons basically order the Sharticons to attack, and Grimlock basically says, "Me, Grimlock, say, you execute them." And the Sharticons, moronically, look at each other, and then they attack the Quintessons. And basically, Grimlock and the lads walk off. It was pretty simple for Grimlock to kind of outsmart them. And whoever thought that Grimlock would outsmart anyone? That concept alone makes me laugh. And for that reason, and because of the votes that he got, he tied up the number 6 slot. And so here we are once again at the halfway mark. And I think that for me, the one that takes the number 5 slot here is the one that I personally would have probably put at number 1. It is the scene that Starscream wife herself actually voted for as the funniest. It is a scene that focuses once again around Megatron and some of the other Decepticons. It takes place in the G1 episode, I think it's called Microbots, where the Decepticons get over-energized. Let's be realistic, the guys got drunk. They celebrated having the heart of Cybertron, and they got drunk. And this guy here basically reminisces about the good old days. And then he passes out, and they say, "Oh, the Decepticons got over-energized," and they shrink down and go in and get the heart of Cybertron. Boom. Yay. And then he wakes up and is like, "What happened?" Nobody would ever say that that's what it was, that they got drunk. And this day and age, it would never fly. But in the 80s, man, it was a different time. I thought that they were over-energized. What more do you want? Either way, the way that they acted was hilarious. It was out of character for the Decepticons, and for that reason, that scene takes the number 5 slot. Man, I'm really enjoying, you know, that this countdown is all over the pantheon of kind of Transformers lore, and we're going to dive now into Beast Wars and the episode Low Road. And basically, the hero of the day is this guy, Rhinox, when he farts. The guy breaks wind, he farts, and he kind of like, you're able to see it from space, and it like blows the Predacons back, and he saves the day. It's the most ridiculous resolution to like a confrontation ever. He says, "Oh, I don't feel so good," and then it happens. So, Rhinox, your hero, with gas. Doesn't get much more funnier than that. For that reason, it takes the number 4 slot. And that only leaves us with the top 3. And for number 3, I actually neglected to get the character to show you guys. If it was that character, he would complain and say, "I needed that." And I did need that. I'm talking, of course, about Transformers Prime Ratchet. Specifically, most of the votes came for when he would speak to Bulkhead and be like, bulkhead, I needed that. But he said it about many things. It became Ratchet's catchphrase and one of those ongoing gags throughout the entire series when people would take things that belonged to Ratchet. It was something that stuck with a lot of fans, and that a lot of fans do get a chuckle out of, myself included, and he got enough votes, or that line got enough votes to take the number 3 slot. And for number 2, we dive back into the Dinobots, and specifically Slag. And it's the scene where a door basically is pushed over and it falls down on the on a Quintesson prosecutor. And Slag walks out over, and the guy is underneath the door getting squat, and Slag, ever polite, says, "Excuse me," and just keeps walking along. It's one of those things that, like, it's quirky, it's funny. When does a Dinobot ever apologize? When did they ever have manners? Especially the grumpy Slag was so out of character, but it was just one of those little one-off things that was funny at the time, and it sort of endured and lasted over the years. I laugh at it every time I see it. And it got enough votes to solidify this guy at the number 2 slot. And so here we are again at number 1. And number 1 takes us to the G1 episode Prime Target, with the hunter, the big game hunter, Chumley. And Chumley tries to kind of set some traps and get Optimus Prime to fall bait to it. And Optimus says, "Not today, Chumley, not today," and walks on. However, he is being trailed by Blitzwing and Astrotrain. And of the two, Blitzwing is the dullard, although Astrotrain's not the rock of knowledge either. And Blitzwing basically falls into the trap, and Astrotrain is trying to get him out. And just the interplay between Astrotrain and Blitzwing is kind of hilarious to watch in and of itself. And Optimus ends up saying, and I want to get it right because a lot of people misquote this, and they say it thinking that they know the line, but the actual line reads, "Amazing. A booby trap that actually catches boobies." Said by Optimus Prime himself. And the whole scene, it's not just that line, the whole scene, the interplay between the Decepticon triple changers, even Chumley's dismay that Optimus is the one that didn't fall prey to his trap, all of it comes together for, you know, like a little bit of comedy. It's not overdone, it's not overblown, but it's just enough to give you a chuckle and a smile as the episode progresses. And for that reason, and because it got the most votes, it clearly takes the number 1 slot. And there you go, guys. We went from 10 to 1 once again. And like, there's a lot that got votes that didn't make the list. Lugnut's Poke didn't make the list. What else do we have here? Skybite Singing didn't make the list. Kill Bison giving somebody the finger, we all know which finger, didn't make the list. Some scenes that were pointed out with the twins from Revenge of the Fallen didn't make the list, but it did get some votes. Bad Comedy and the coronation scene had some votes. Surprisingly, didn't make the list. What else do we have here that didn't make it, but that's pretty good? The Eye Still Function, Wanna Bet? Got a couple of votes. It didn't make it. As I'm looking through here, let's see. What about... from the comics, when Ultra Magnus turns off his inhibitors and basically, I think he gets intoxicated and kind of gets jumped by Hot Rod and Drift. And let's see if I can find one more. When Dinobot plugs Rampage's gun with Waspinator. So there was that, there was more. It was a very busy list to do, but it was a great one to do. I had fun doing it. I hope you guys had fun watching it. As always, I appreciate you coming by and giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can always use the donate link. You can check us out on Patreon, see what we offer to you through Teespring, or of course you can hit the join button right here on YouTube. While you're at it, hit the subscribe button. Let me know who your favorites are, what made the list, what didn't make the list that you wish did. Don't forget that somehow, some way, man, each and every single day, man, you do make a difference. And I look forward, baby, to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres or the old-fashioned way, right here, inside the videos.